Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration, and we just want to show you two projects today coming out of the shop. The first is this 1938 Mack. This is a fire engine out of Woburn, Massachusetts. The owner is actually here today. His name's Steve. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes, but I just wanted to do a quick walk around of this. And also we're going to be going over this project right here, which is an 1895 hose cart from Mount Morris, Illinois. We tore it right down to the frame. We rebuilt the engine, we rebuilt the transmission, the fire pump, everything. All of the chrome plating was redone. We just went through the whole entire truck. It was a great experience. I've never redone a truck with a wooden framed cab before. This is a wooden framed cab. You can see it right here. And that made it more challenging because the wood, some of the wood was rotten away, but luckily some of it was in good shape. And we've got the seats all redone here, just like it would have left the factory. Just about all the gauges are redone. Steering wheel. Just a really neat truck. And this is originally, this gentleman is from Woburn, Massachusetts, and this truck is from Woburn, Massachusetts. It was originally purchased from Mack by Woburn, so this has got some extra special meaning for this gentleman, and so he's going to be able to drive this around town, and he's going to put his ladders on it and his hose and outfit this whole thing and really enjoy it. So we just got this out of the shop in the last couple days completed. One of the challenges was the running boards. These running boards had a lot of they actually had shag carpeting on them. I don't have any pictures of it, but there was literally 1-inch shag carpeting on this from the 70s. I don't know what they were thinking, but they glued it on there, and it was the goofiest looking thing. And they also had it in the cab on the floor. But we were able to save the original metal that was under here, and the guys came up with a really cool idea on the trim on the outside here. That was a problem trying to figure that out. We ended up having some metal bent up custom by a local company here, and that came out really nice, and it fit really well. It covers up the curved edge of this original panel here. We really didn't know what to do with that. It was very difficult to fix, so that was a great solution. And then back here, we also did the same thing back here. This you get this beautiful mitered corner here. All of the oh, I forgot a piece of cardboard in here. All of the trim here was custom made. We custom made the trim here to come across where the matting was, changes direction, so we had to have a little cover here. The wood was all redone in the back. The original dividers, we had to put a wooden back up in there because there was a gap, and we had to kind of retrofit a couple things here with the water tank, but we got it all figured out. We got the pike pole mounts up here. These are very unusual pike pole mounts. I've never seen these before, and so we were trying to figure out where to mount these on the side. Typically you'd have them on the side here, but there's no room with these railings in the way, so we ended up just putting them up here. They worked out perfect. They're lined right up and they're ready to be loaded in. We went with stainless steel. The customer didn't have the budget for all of the chrome on this truck. The tubing on this, to redo the chrome tubing, is just out of control expensive. So we ended up going with just stainless steel tubing here. It worked out great. And we also did it up here on the boot racks. Saved a ton of money. And we got the pump panel over here. Redid all the gauges, everything works. All the vacuum, pressure, RPM. And all the valves are gone through. The next thing we have to do is take this out to pump test and see how it goes with pump test. I'm sure it's going to work fine. We also installed an aftermarket gas tank right here. So this gas tank is made by Tanks Inc. We've used Tanks Inc. a bunch of times here at the shop, and we really like their product. This is a universal one. So instead of redoing the old rusty tank that was in here, we just installed one of these. It's clean, it's new, it's easy to use. It comes with the gas gauge already on it, the gas gauge sending unit, and it comes set up where you could actually use this with fuel injection if you wanted to. Of course, we didn't do that because we've just got a carburetor, but this thing worked out really, really nice. We added a valve here, quick shut off for safety, so somebody, if we need to, they can shut the fuel off really fast without having to open the hood. Down here we did all the chrome on the pump panel, the chains, all the gauges on the pump gauge panel. It just came out really, really nice. We have all of our chrome work done at LeBrandy's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They do a fantastic job. And the sides here, we had to come up with something on the sides. These metal running boards originally came out and had a curve to them, and they were kind of in rough shape, and you know, we were kind of in a little bit of a restriction in the budget, so we came up with this idea here, and it worked out really, really well. It saved a ton of money and time, and it's a piece of channel we had bent up for this by a local metal company, and we attached it on. It came out really nice. It just finishes off the truck really well with this rubber matting. And the color we chose really pops here with the red paint, the gray color here on the steps. And then up on the hose body, you've got the boot rails right here. The firemen would have originally put their boots upside down through here, and the water would drain out if their boots were wet. That's what the purpose of that is for. It also have helmets attached on here with hooks on the railing. And the pike poles would go right in here. These are a very unique pike pole design here. I've never seen this type of holder before, but it's two pieces of rubber, and you shove the pike pole through there, and it acts like a Chinese figure puzzle. You can't get your you can't take the thing out unless you really pull on it, so it won't slide out when you're driving along the road. And the spotlight, Steve, the owner, has a bell that goes right here. So we have to get that bracket in the future and get the bell mounted right here. But that's really gonna be kind of neat here. It's got a nice spot for that in the front of the truck. So we gotta have a bell on the fire truck. He just didn't have one when we got the truck here. So, but let me have Steve come over. Steve, can you come over and we'll say hello here? This is Steve Patterson. He's the owner of the truck.
Hey everybody.
And so Steve, what do you think of the truck here?
I think it came out fantastic.
Yeah, you really like it?
Far cry from what we looked at the day 7 years ago.
Yeah, I know, that's right. It's been a long time. It's been 7 years. Yeah.
But it was well worth it.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of work. And
I remember when it first came in, I was a little skeptical. I didn't know what we were getting into really, and it was a lot of. I remember that maroon paint that they had put on there.
Oh yeah.
Right. It was like there was a story about that. There was a school or something in Pennsylvania. What was the story with that?
It was seminary, Catholic Church Seminary.
Okay.
In Laredo, Pennsylvania, and they got it from the sale and auction in Massachusetts.
Okay, so they bought the truck at auction in Mass and brought it down there.
Brought it down there in 1970. 1970.
1970. Okay. So 54 years ago they had this thing, and then what did they do with it when it was there?
It was overheating on them when they drove it down to Pennsylvania, so they put it in the church. The seminary had to put it in a garage.
Yep.
And then they decided to figure out why it was overheating, and they took it apart head gasket was gone, and they didn't want to do any more work to it. So they ended up selling it to the volunteer fire department in the town of Loretto,
Okay.
Pennsylvania. And that's when I bought it. I bought it up from Loretto, Pennsylvania Fire Department.
So this truck never, it was driving down to,
Driving to Pennsylvania.
they were driving it there.
And they were using it as a parade piece.
And then it never really made it there, but then they took it apart and then that was it.
They did some painting to it, some
Yeah.
rough painting, and
I know they put shag carpet on it.
yeah.
Remember the shag carpet?
Yeah.
The shag carpet was right here on this running
yeah.
board. And it was green, early 70s shag carpet. It covered the entire running board, the tailboard, and I think the floor inside, right?
I think the floor too.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. And probably what they had laying around, you know, at the time. Yeah. But they painted it, they did that, but it never really ran.
No, they never ran it. They did run it after they did some paint to it.
Oh, they ran it a little bit?
They ran it a little bit, and they put it in. They used it as a parade piece.
Okay.
And they put it in the station and took the heads off it. And they figured out they weren't going to do any more work to it.
Okay.
So that's when I got a hold of it. I went down there to find it, and found it down there, and asked the chief to contact me if they were getting rid of it. And
so when was that about?
81.
1981.
81.
Okay.
I bought it in 82.
So they had it it was down there for about 11 years, and then it came back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had it in storage for all that time?
Yeah, it was outside for a while.
Until 7 years ago?
No, actually
Or so.
a lot longer than that. It was in my garage for 11 or 12 years.
Yeah?
12 years, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Before that, for 3.5 or 4 years, it was outside.
Okay.
Outside one of the stations.
Mm-hmm.
It became a big flower pot.
A flower pot. But yeah, well, it's not a flower pot now. I mean,
No. Did a
you
great
know,
job.
thank you. We tried, and we've got a couple more minor adjustments and things to do here. But Steve came down today. We decided he's been waiting long enough. We're 99% done with this truck. We've got a couple small things to do. We got to put some windshield wipers on, a few other minor things, but we wanted to get you down here and just let you drive this thing around. We just took it for a drive a little while ago, and it drives pretty good. You're gonna be a little getting used to.
It needs to be warmed up.
Yeah. You got a little getting used to with the shifting, and the steering is. We're going to work on that steering. We'll get that.
Exactly.
Steve's elected to have us do a power steering conversion for his fire engine, so we're going to install a power steering system on here that's relatively economical, and it's going to work really, really nicely. So that's going to make things a lot easier to drive.
Looking forward to the first parade in October.
Yes. Absolutely, we're gonna have it ready. So, but thank you, Steve, for coming down.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you guys later. Stay tuned if you like. Subscribe and keep that old iron running. Such a troublemaker.